Alex remembers the way the rain fell that night, a soft, relentless patter against the window pane. It mirrored the steady, dull ache in his chest, a constant companion for months. He had everything really: a beautiful home, a loving partner, a successful career. Yet an emptiness resided deep within him, an insatiable void that whispered promises of something more, something different. It was a dangerous whisper, one he foolishly chose to heed. That void was not new. It had been a subtle presence for a while, a quiet dissatisfaction masked by routine and assumed happiness, a deceptive comfort that slowly eroded his appreciation for what he truly had. It made him vulnerable, susceptible to temptation. A weak link in his own moral chain, a self-inflicted blindness to the true richness of his existence. It began innocently enough: a new colleague at work, Alara. Her laughter bright and easy, her eyes full of a spark. He realized had long been absent from his own life, or perhaps he had simply stopped seeing it. In Anna, his rock, his steady, unwavering love for so many years. Anna, who trusted him completely. He felt a flicker of guilt, even then a tiny ember amidst the growing flames of attraction. But he extinguished it quickly with excuses and rationalizations. Just friendly banter, he told himself. Just professional admiration. It was harmless. It meant nothing. A simple connection. A new friendship. He convinced himself it was merely a harmless diversion, a temporary bright spot in an otherwise predictable existence. A lie he whispered to himself over and over until it sounded like truth. A cruel deception. He fed his own conscience. The harmless conversations grew longer. The professional boundaries blurred. Coffee breaks became lunch dates. Lunch dates stretched into late-night calls about nothing and everything. The shared secrets, the stolen glances, the electric tension that vibrated between them. It was intoxicating, a potent elixir that made him feel alive again. Vibrant, dangerous. He chased that feeling like a desperate man lost in a desert chasing a mirage. He convinced himself that this was what he needed, this surge of vitality, this fleeting escape from the mundane reality he had built with Anna. He felt a rush he had not felt in years, a forbidden thrill that obscured the quiet, steady warmth of Anna's love, a temporary madness that consumed his judgment and twisted his perception of reality, dragging him further into a web of deceit. Ilara was an adventure. Anna was home. He told himself he could have both. He could juggle two worlds, keeping them separate, distinct, untouched by each other. The lies started small, harmless omissions, then grew into elaborate narratives. He practiced his deceit in the mirror, perfecting his casual tone, his innocent smile, his feigned exhaustion. When Anna asked about his late nights, the guilt was a heavy cloak, but the thrill of Alara's company, the forbidden excitement, momentarily lifted its weight. He became a master of duplicity, a stranger to himself in the reflection, a contorted version of the man Anna believed him to be, his own integrity, slowly crumbling beneath the weight of each new deception, each stolen moment, each false word spoken to the woman he swore to cherish. He felt a sickening pride in his ability to deceive, a dangerous testament to his spiraling detachment from his true self. The first kiss was a tremor, an earthquake that shook his foundations. He knew then there was no turning back. He had crossed a line, a sacred boundary he had sworn to uphold with Anna, with his own integrity. The kisses became more frequent, more passionate, more demanding, a desperate attempt to fill that void, to quiet that whisper. It was not love, he realized later. Not true profound love, but an addiction to the novelty, to the danger, to the feeling of being wanted in a new raw way. A selfish pursuit of fleeting gratification, a hollow echo of genuine connection. He mistook for true intimacy. It was a performance, a charade that left him feeling emptier than before. Despite the superficial excitement it brought, he was merely papering over the cracks in his soul, not truly repairing anything, only widening them. The secrecy gnawed at him, a constant pressure beneath his skin. He saw Anna look at him. Sometimes her eyes filled with an unspoken question, a subtle shift in her expression. He brushed it off, blamed it on stress, on work, on anything but the truth. But the truth was a venom, slowly poisoning their shared life, their beautiful life. He built with her. He saw the hurt in her eyes even before she knew the specifics. A vague unease, a sense of distance he had deliberately created. He watched her try to bridge that gap with her love, her kindness, her unwavering belief in him, and he hated himself for what he was doing, for destroying something so precious, so rare, for shattering the sacred bond of trust that was the bedrock of their entire relationship. The sight of her genuine efforts to reconnect only deepened his self-loathing, a constant reminder of his vile hypocrisy, his treacherous heart. The discovery came not with a bang, but with a whimper, a misplaced text message, a name flashing across his screen at the wrong moment. Anna saw it. Her face went blank, then contorted in a mixture of disbelief and profound pain. The world stopped spinning. The air left his lungs. The elaborate tapestry of lies unraveled in a single agonizing instant. Her voice was a whisper barely audible, asking who Alara was. His heart hammered against his ribs, a trapped bird desperate to escape the cage of his own making. He tried to explain, to rationalize, to soften the blow. But there was no softening. This kind of wound, he saw the light drain from her eyes, a light he had cherished for so long, extinguished by his own hand. The moment stretched into an eternity, a tableau of his complete moral failure, frozen in time, forever, etched into his memory. The silence that followed was deafening, more painful than any shout he wished she had screamed. He wished she had thrown things. Instead, she just looked at him, her eyes wide with a devastation that would haunt his dreams forever. He saw his betrayal reflected in their depths, a mirror showing him the monster he had become in his pursuit of fleeting pleasure. He saw the years of shared laughter, the whispered dreams, the quiet understanding they had built together shatter into a million irreparable pieces. The innocence was gone, the trust was broken. The future they had envisioned together simply evaporated like mist in the morning sun, leaving only the barren landscape of his cruel deceit and the ashes of their love. She asked him to leave. He did not argue. He packed a small bag, his hands shaking his mind. Numb, he left the home they had made together, the home filled with her scent, with their memories, with the echoes of their life. It felt cold, empty, alien without her. He drove aimlessly for hours, the rain still falling, now a torrent mirroring the tears. He could not shed the dam inside him, remained stubbornly intact, holding back an ocean of regret, a tidal wave of sorrow. He deserved it. He knew he deserved every drop of pain, every lonely moment, every agonizing thought for what he had done, for the irreparable damage he had caused. The next few weeks were a blur of loneliness and self-loathing. He called Anna. She did not answer. He sent messages. She did not reply. His world had shrunk to the four walls of a sterile rented apartment, and the echo of his own miserable thoughts. Ilara was gone too, a phantom, a fleeting dream that had vanished with the harsh light of reality. She offered an apology, a brief explanation about moving on, about things being too complicated. He did not blame her. She was never meant to be a permanent fixture, just a temporary distraction, a catalyst for destruction, a momentary reprieve from his own internal disquiet. Now gone, leaving him truly alone in his wreckage, a hollow man in a hollow room. He thought about Anna every day, every waking moment. He pictured her face, her smile, the way she used to laugh at his silly jokes, the way she would curl up beside him on the sofa, a silent testament to their connection. He had thrown it all away. For what? For a feeling, a temporary high, a selfish pursuit. He had traded a diamond for a handful of dust, and now he was left with nothing but the dust, the grit of regret coating his tongue, the bitter taste of his own failure. He yearned for the simple comfort of her presence, the easy familiarity of their shared life, the quiet joy of being truly seen and loved for who he was not. For some illusion he presented trust, once broken, is a fragile thing. He learned it does not mend easily. If at all, it leaves scars, deep, invisible wounds that ache long after the initial cut. He saw the world through new eyes now, the eyes of a man who had betrayed the person he loved most, the eyes of a man who understood the profound gravity of his actions. He understood the pain he had inflicted, the trust he had shattered, the future he had demolished. The weight of that understanding was crushing, a constant companion, a shadow that followed him everywhere he went, a reminder of his unforgivable transgression, a perpetual burden on his soul. He often wondered if Anna would ever forgive him. He knew he might never forgive himself. The memory of her face that night when the truth came out was a constant companion, a ghost that whispered reminders of his cruelty, his weakness, his ultimate failure to cherish the precious gift of her love. He had taken it for granted, believing it was an endless well that would always be there regardless of his actions. But love, like all living things, needs care, needs honesty, needs protection, from the very hands that claim to cherish it. It was a lesson learned at an unbearable cost, a price he would pay for the rest of his days, for all his remaining years. His life was a quiet penance, now a solitary existence filled with reflection. He worked hard. He tried to be a better person, not for anyone else, but for himself, to try and mitigate the deep-seated shame he carried. He understood now that happiness was not found in chasing fleeting thrills or in escaping reality, but in nurturing the connections that truly mattered, in being honest, in being kind, in being truly present with the people who loved you, without expectation, without reservation, without deceit. That was the true path to fulfillment, not the fleeting highs of forbidden passion, a truth revealed too late at an astronomical cost. He thought about the emptiness he felt before the affair, the void that led him down that destructive path. He realized now it was not an external lack, but an internal one, a void of self-worth, of gratitude, of true understanding of what he already possessed. He had sought external validation, a temporary fix for an internal problem, and in doing so he had destroyed the most valuable external validation he had ever known, the pure, unconditional love of Anna, a profound and bitter irony that would forever haunt him, a testament to his own foolish blindness, his tragic misjudgment. He often imagined running into her years from now. What would he say? How would he look her in the eye? Would she see the remorse, the genuine regret, the brokenness in him? Or would she just see the man who betrayed her, the man who tore her world apart? He hoped she found happiness true, lasting happiness, with someone who understood her worth, someone who cherished her, someone who would never inflict the kind of pain he had so carelessly dealt someone who would see her for the incredible woman she was and protect her heart with an unwavering commitment. Unlike his own abysmal failure to do so, the path to redemption, if such a thing existed for him, was long, arduous, and lonely. He walked it, knowing he could not undo the past. He could only learn from it, carry the weight of his mistakes, and hope that somewhere, somehow, his journey of remorse might offer a small measure of understanding to anyone grappling with similar temptations. The cost of betrayal was immeasurable. The price paid in trust, in love, in self-respect was higher than any momentary pleasure could ever justify. His story was a cautionary tale, a silent warning etched into the fabric of his broken life, a testament to the devastating power of a single moment of weakness, a single selfish choice, and the endless ripple of consequences that follow it. Forever changed, forever marked, eternally burdened by the ghosts of what might have been, and the reality of what he had cruelly made it become his self-imposed exile, a constant reminder of his irreversible error.